Mr. Mixmaster here with a video for ARK Survival Evolved. In this video, I will be showcasing all the best different base locations in ARK Survival Evolved. I'll try to make this a series. This one will be in 4 different parts for all 4 maps. Ragnarok will be coming out soon, within the next few days, so I expect to see a video on that one. I'm very excited for that. However, we are going to start with the island, which is the first map, the default map the game comes with. So, I am using my non-dedicated servers to show you guys this the best way. I have some custom settings I like to play on. Not quite God mode, but really high stats for stuff. Extremely high health regeneration. The stats per level on tame dinosaurs and yourself. I have those set to really high. You guys can see here I put in like 500, 1,000, 10,000 for certain things. But these are just the servers that I play on mostly by myself to test stuff and just have fun. Sometimes I'll invite some of my friends to play on here, but sometimes I'll join theirs so it's a little bit more official. Sometimes we like to play by official rules, sometimes we like to just mess around on here. So for these videos, I'll be using this server. And if you guys are wondering, I am on my second account. The main reason why I'm using my second account, just more for playing around, doing some extra stuff on more testing for ARK. I have my main account for ARK on all 3 different characters per map, which I chose to go with male. In this account I went with female. Just wanted to test out different building techniques, maybe other locations I haven't found yet. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. So we're gonna go to the island and do not dedicated. Always make it private. And yeah, so we're gonna go to each of the locations in the maps to show you guys where the best bases are. Now, a couple things to know about building bases in ARK. It doesn't necessarily matter what you want to build it out of. However, it does matter more or less on where you build, and it also depends what kind of server you want to build it on. So I reset the island that I had here. I did have the only things I did on this specific map was I just unlocked all the tech tier stuff, and I'll go back to doing all that later. But I also have admin commands that you guys can see on top. So I just built myself a little shack right here. So the best way to go around the island and show you guys where everything is. I just want to show off some of the admin commands here, just so you guys are familiar with everything. Force tame, and no, before I think you might have had to put the word cheat before it, but not anymore at least. So I just get that ready. Gotta wait for my character's hair to grow too. I changed the hairstyle. This is all the skins I have too. I don't have every skin, but I have about half of them. I don't really care for the other ones, and some of the other ones I don't think you can get in general. At least I don't think there is. I've looked all over the internet on YouTube. I had to get certain skins. It wouldn't work for me. Oh, and what my character has currently right now is the Manticore gear. unlock the Manticore skins by defeating the Manticore on all three difficulties on Scorched Earth. Once that happens, there's your character. Every time you respawn in a different area or you die and respawn or whatever, the skins will automatically appear in your inventory, and you can just put them right on top of another piece of armor. I like to put them on Ascendant Riot Gear because it's the highest tier armor and highest grade of Riot Gear to put them on, so that's what I usually do. And then I have the Vampire Eyes skin too, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we're just gonna try to find a Pteranodon somewhere, because Pteranodons are really, pretty much, well, they're definitely the most common, air mount. It's just the area I'm in. I'm not 100% sure how popular they are in this area. I've been in this area a lot. I've been on all three maps about the same time on each one. There's not really one map I've played on more than the others, per se. I do like all three maps, although the island is my least favorite. Alright, here's some Pteranodons right here. It doesn't matter what level they are either. Just line it up as best as you can and just keep pressing it. And bada bing, bada boom. Pteranodon has been tamed. I put them on passive. Okay, so it's going to need some food as well. I usually disable the item, disable the victim item collection, and do the targeting range to high, just so they're good to go. You guys will see here when I start putting the stats in, there'll be quite a lot of points per stat area here. And let me get this stupid text box out of the way. I usually just type in a letter so it can go away, because it's very annoying when you're actually trying to go through your inventory and stuff and it's blocking what's in there so you can't see it. Give him a decent amount of health, a lot of stamina, because we're going to go around the entire island here, so we're going to need that. And then I put one in oxygen because it's like a million or a billion, whatever I put in the server settings. Melee damage. Okay, that's plenty of melee damage. Alright, let's just put the rest in the health. And we'll level them up when we're on the run. Alright, so currently, right now, I am at the bottom middle-ish east part of the map. If you guys see those blue map markers I've made, those are strictly for the blue, red, and green obelisks are for the center, and the tech cave is for this map. That's where they're located. But yeah, we are pretty much at 67, 60 on the map. So pretty much all the way down south, slightly between the east and the middle. So I like going into third person. Yeah, this one does not have a lot of movement speed, but we're going to have to make do with what we got. So, first major spot is already where we're headed. When I first started playing the game, I actually started a base right here on the other side of this giant rock on this island. I started making a wooden cabin type house, whatever it is. Right here where my Pteranodons landed. Me and my buddy were playing and just started messing around right here. We thought it's a pretty decently safe spot too, so if you're doing single player or PvE server, then this is a pretty good spot for not a lot of aggressive creatures. The only aggressive creature I have found in this vicinity or in this area is the Dilos and maybe Pegos. Dilos are the really small raptors that'll spit that acid and make you see all like blurry and stuff. And then the Pegos are the little thieves of ARK that will steal your stuff. Anything you have in your inventory or anything you have in your hotkey. Usually they go for stuff in your hotkey first, I think. But and then the newest shoulder mounts, the Itchy Thornuses, which are the little smaller seagulls. If they get aggroed enough, they can actually act like a Pego and steal your stuff as well. But yeah, this is not a bad spot. And then if you just cross the water to what I like to call Rock Island, I think there'll be a similar area like this in Ragnarok when that comes out. And I'm playing on PS4 as well, so I think it comes on PS4 last out of the 30. But as you guys can see here, there's a lot. There's not a lot. I wouldn't say there's a lot. There's a couple of decently flat tops on some of these giant rocks that you can build some flat bases on. The easiest one is the one that's over here because it's the biggest. So you're most likely going to want to use this one the most out of all the different rocks here. If you use the correct building techniques, which you still might have to look online for, I can't really tell you every single technique because I don't even know all the techniques. But you could potentially build catwalks in between these and connect these. So if you have a decent sized tribe, this is a decent area horizontally to make a set of huts or a series of houses for one tribe. And then obviously you have the ground to your advantage as well, so you got a lot of rock to get stone and flint out of, maybe metal. Metal's a lot easier when you get metal pickaxes and metal hatchets. You'll get more metal out of rocks that way. There's a couple of driftwood things down there so you can get wood too. If you're strictly on this island, you're going to have to venture out in front of me or across the water to get more wood and thatch and stuff like that. So, but yeah, this is base location number 1. It's not obviously the best, but for starting out and having at least a few air mounts to get you up and down here, that's good. And like I said, you can use the ground for resources, but if you want it to be more of a PvP styled base in this area, what you're going to want to do is just use the tops of the rocks. That's the easiest way to do it. This way your base is only accessible through air mounts. So if other tribes don't have air mounts, then they're kind of screwed on how they can get to you. I've heard that a lot of people will agree that if any land type of dinosaurs cannot access your base, that's a really good plus. And it is, obviously, because a lot of people will try to use Titanosaurs or Gigas or T-Rexes and stuff and try to, just go guns blazing right through your front door. So, but this one's the best thing about this base is mostly no land dino access. And the best way to go grab resources is probably hopping on your Pteranodon or whatever other air mounts that you're using. And just, come down, land, grab some resources, do what you gotta do, and then hop on and then fly back up. Just trust me, you don't want to get caught down there in the middle of a battle. I highly doubt anybody will actually come over here, but it's always a possibility that I'm not willing to take. And there's some ruins right here, so when you open up the box, which you literally just walk over all these, they'll give you a 600-second XP boost. And if you're on a mount of any sort, then your mount will also get that same XP boost, and there's another one right here. I actually did not know there was two of these right next to each other. These have got to be the two closest artifacts. If you want to call them artifacts. XP booster crates, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, they are directly almost right next. They're within, what, 200-300 feet of each other on the same piece of land. All the other ones I found were like really spaced out, so. And also the other good thing I've noticed while I was flying around here is that there's none of these rocks are too low enough to the ground to where you can actually get some higher ground mounts and jump off of them and get on top. So it's pretty hard to get to the top of any of these without an air mount, if not almost impossible. See, even the Bronto down there, if you were to kind of run up its head or its neck and jump off of its head, it would still probably not be high enough for this. So, this is base location number 1. Now, obviously, you can build underneath the obelisks. They're pretty relatively flat ground, but it's usually never a good idea to build under them, especially on a PvP server, or probably where a PvE server even has PvP enabled. Mostly because some people will probably be trying to use it, or some people will probably be, you know, around the obelisk's area, and you're gonna wind up getting caught right there, and it's not a really good place to spawn at, so don't really recommend it. But working our way a little bit towards the red obelisk here. Most of the better places are in the middle to north of this map, so just bear with me. Now, obviously, you can build anywhere you want, because that's how ARK works, but there's certain, you know, building techniques that you have to use to build on uneven ground. So, if you know how to build an ARK, great. If not, you know, might try to help you guys with certain things that you might need help with for building. There's a couple other YouTubers I watch that are pretty well versed in building an ARK, so I can always link you guys to them as well if you need any extra help. Some people might say it's actually good building along the beaches. I don't fully agree with that, because a lot of people tend to start out on the beaches, and some people have really good fortified bases at the beaches, so it's kind of a 50-50 situation where it's either 50% you might do good, 50% you probably won't do good, or you'll probably wind up dying. So, the main real reason why I don't do PvP servers at all, for the most part, is because everybody likes to be a troll. And me and my other friend were trying to play on a PvP server, and we were doing decent until some people started messing with us, and then wind up, you know, destroying our base, killing our body. Well, they killed my friend. I was still alive, but they looted all of our stuff and broke our base, so that was not cool at all. Anyways, moving back to the next base. Now, this is a nice area if you want to build in around here, because this could potentially be used for a smaller water pen. I usually like to recommend water pen building in a peninsula like this, where the water is surrounded by like 3 areas of land, so there's only one entrance for the river to connect to the ocean. So, and this water here is deep enough to hold most of the smaller water mounts. You could probably hold some dolphins in there, Caprisuchuses, maybe a Sarco or 2, potentially a Megalodon. I'd say anything bigger than a Megalodon I would not recommend. Even Megalodon is kind of pushing it. I'd say for this map especially, make sure they're more along the edges of the beach and the ocean rather than inside of the land, like over here. There's a Baronix over there trying to feast on some fishies. Alright, so if you just come up right here to this cliffside, I know this is probably a little painful to watch because this Pteranodon I tamed is so slow. But right here is the best place that I and a lot of other people have found to build at. This is probably the best location for the island because it's so big and open, and it is kind of easy to get raided on in here, but again, it depends on what type of server you're going to be playing on. So for a PvE server and playing single player, this is pretty much damn near perfect. If you're playing on a PvP server, you're definitely going to want to fortify the absolute hell out of this thing because there is, let's see, I think there are two directions for land mounts, and then 2 directions front and back for air mounts to just fly over the cliff side, and you're not protected on any 4 sides naturally. And I found out of the entire area, excuse me, that right over here, basically kind of like where I'm walking around right here in this real area closer to the south cliffside, is the flatter area to build on, so it'll be a little bit easier for some of you newer players to build here. And a plethora of bushes, trees, and rocks to farm here as well. The only real passive creatures I've seen here besides this moss chops just chilling is some dodos, moss chops. There's, I think, some oviraptors that spawn more closer to the forest over there. I think I've seen a couple of pteranodons around the area, but they're not exceptionally common. Tapahars, I'm not 100% sure of. I think they're slightly more north, closer to the redwood forest, as you guys can kind of see over there. Great, it's raining. Let's see. And the only real aggressive creature I've found here, besides the Therizino I just killed, it's a possibility for them to come here or spawn here, but it's very low. The only real creature I've seen that spawns here is the Dilos, which are not hard to kill even if you are a lower level character. I've seen some over here. I think they're over here. Yeah, there's 2 right over here. I guess that's Patchy. Okay, that's Patchy, my bad. Oh, they're both Patchies, okay. So, even Dilos then are still rare, but I think those are the only aggressive creatures to be in this area. Oh, let me quickly grab the meat off of that Therizino, because I think that's also a reason why it's not flying as fast as it should be. I think I just realized that right now. Had a blonde moment. There we go. Oh, that's way better. I was actually eating now? Good. I've actually had a glitch, I think it was like yesterday, or the day before, where I think it was one Pteranodon I had wasn't eating. I force-fed it and stuff, and naturally, it, as you can see, it does eat out of its inventory, but it wasn't eating for me for some reason. I was like, what is going on? But thank God it wasn't permanent. Okay, here we go. This is much better. I put plenty of stamina into this, so we should be a lot better off now, guys. Sorry about that. I totally forgot that they actually start off with like a weight glitch thing, where you kind of have to put something heavy-ish into their inventory, and then once that happens, the weight icon will go away. Okay, so moving on. These rocks I do believe are all destroyable, so it's a possibility you can definitely build on this little place. It's nice and elevated. There's only one entrance through the ground, so it's a pretty decent one. There's a Sarco, right? I mean a Sarco, Spino right here. Level 9. Ain't nothing special. Oops. So yeah, I'll show you guys as an example here. Let me land. If you have any Doedicurises, they are really good for farming stone and big rocks and stuff. Okay, that rock is not destroyable. All these are... I'm just going to try to open up this area so you guys can see exactly how big this area is to build in when you get here. And it's also pretty good for having a couple of underwater caves as well, since there's deep enough water like right around the base. Which is also another great thing to have about a base is easy access to fish. And this is what I mean about the pagos. Man, it's so small I didn't even see where it went. Where the hell did it go? Huh. Thought it'd been easy enough to spot it, jeez. Oh well, I guess it gives me another chance to show you guys another admin command. The most common and favorite one I always use. Give item num, short for number, space, the actual item ID number, so whatever you want to spawn in. So I'm going to spawn in an ascendant metal pickaxe. So I'm going to type in 35 for the pickaxe. I'll type in 1 for the quantity, and the third number is quality, so 100. I think it goes in increments of 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100 for all the different levels. So 0 or 1 is primitive, 100 is ascendant. And then 0, between having the last number, a 0 and a 1 depends if it's the item or a blueprint. Like, I'll do that and I'll get my pick back because I had it hotkeyed. So there's the pickaxe. But if I wanted to change it to an ascendant metal pickaxe blueprint, I just change the 0 to a 1 and it'll give me the blueprint. As you guys can see right here. Blueprint. Bada bing, bada boom. So, just a little heads up. But yeah, let's continue clearing out this area. There might be a good potential for me to build here. I definitely love building an ARK. It's pretty cool. It's a lot different than Fallout 4. So if you guys are used to building in the workshop mode in Fallout 4, this is a little bit similar. But the limitations are a lot less because you can build anywhere you want. Within reason, obviously, because in certain caves, there's like no official ground to build on. It'll constantly appear in red instead of green, so I'm not exactly sure we'll work around that. Because there is a new option that they've added in a recent update that you can actually check off to build in caves, which I thought was really awesome. There's some really cool caves I'm going to show you guys as well later on that are actually kind of worth building in. I never really seen anybody actually go over caves to build in, so I might be the first person, who knows. Either way, I still wanted to share it with you guys, so I'm going to try to clear out every rock, but all the bigger ones. Some of these are in my way. Okay, so that rock is going to impede some building here. Okay, this rock. Okay, that's breakable. Beautiful. That one isn't. Let's see what other ones are. There's another note right here. Should probably talk about the obelisk. I think there's a specific website or something you guys can check to read all the explorer notes. It's so tiny and a weird font that I can't ever read them. Ragnarok kind of makes gathering resources a little bit better. There's actually like little palm type leaves on the ground that when you pick them up they'll give you thatch, and there's little sticks on the ground that will give you wood, so it's a lot better than waking up and start punching a tree. You know, it just makes a lot more sense to grab it off the ground than to bare fist a tree. So I'm pretty sure nobody wakes up going, hey, let's go punch that tree, and think that it's not going to hurt. Okay. There's still a little bit more we can go. It's kind of hard to show this location because of all these rocks, so that's one of the main reasons why I'm trying to clear it out for you guys so you can actually see what you're dealing with. Over here, got a little bit more space to work with, which is great. Little lip right there. Okay. Let's see, what else? Ah, these rocks. I want to show you guys right here in a second a really easy way to drop a lot of specific items without having to constantly tap the button to drop each individual stack. Like, let's say you want to get rid of all of stone in your inventory. I'll show you guys how to do that. So, give me 1 second here. Alright, I think we're good. Oops, I don't want to get out the pistol. I don't need that. Alright, so we're going to go in your inventory, press search, and just type in STO for stone, and then go to drop all. Bada bing, bada boom. Flint, you're going to do FLI for flint. And then metal, depending on what else is in your inventory, you might have to actually spell out metal, so I always spell it out because I put MET and helmet is in there, so if I have any helmets, they'll drop too, so there you go. And then I just have one stack of that, and there we go. Bada bing, bada boom, clean inventory. Now let me get back on my Pteranodon here. We'll go to a bird's eye view and actually check this place out better. Okay, so that is the full extent of what you guys will be dealing with this here. Now, it's pretty cool because you can actually use those covers for, use those rocks for cover. I like that. That's some natural defense. And those rocks are impenetrable, so obviously they can't, like other people on a PvP type server can't come in with some tools and break it down. So, and again, only one entrance right there behind me. And two pretty decent areas on each side for two separate water pens here. Both plenty deep enough for any creatures. And then obviously you go into out into the main river over here. Right here where it's more blue. And you could probably put a mosasaur or plesiosaur in there. Even right where that the deeper pieces, and you could probably build on that little strip as well, so you can have this whole little like area right here as one tribe. It's kind of like the main middle, and then you have kind of like a right and a left hook, kind of like a trident. That's what it kind of looks like now that I look at it, but it's pretty cool. Alright, moving on. Now this is a little tiny separate island right south of the red obelisk here. I don't think there's anything on this island that's worth building on. I could be wrong. I don't remember there being anything really worth building on. Or anywhere to have a real base at. I mean, maybe back here, because it's all the way in the back of the island, and it's relatively flat right here on almost this whole entire beach, so it's pretty good. plenty of trees and bushes to get your stuff at, and there should be plenty of fish in there to get meat for, so you should be definitely good if you build right there. Only real spot on here I think that's worth it. Let's see, anything behind this rock? So I would say on the rock, but it's not that even. Yeah, there's this little area right here that you can build at as well. That's probably ooh, hold on, let me see. This could be a pretty decent spot right here on these cliff sides. It's relatively flat on this little plateau here, and then it's got a lot of trees, a decent amount of rocks. Yeah, you should be good right there. And then over here, on this separate little slice of this part of the island right here is a pretty decent spot. Probably more over here you're gonna want to build since it's a little bit more flatter in this area right here. Or down over here somewhere. Now as we approach the red obelisk, we're probably already closer to the green one, but I'll get there soon. I'm gonna try to wrap this up a little faster here. But yeah, the platform that the red obelisk teleporter pad is on is almost 100% flat. Just clear out these rocks and you're good to go. Again, PvP, I'd say single player and PvE only if you want to build out the obelisks. It's a little bit different for Scorched Earth because it's just kind of the pads, and then it's kind of like a little pond oasis underneath of each of the obelisks, so you can't really build on the platform, but or at least like directly around it. So moving slightly north and west, you have this humongous skinny strip of land here with a perfect underwater pen entrance from the sea. I really don't think this could get any better for single player or PvE. Humongous strip of land. Now the water isn't quite deep enough back there for ground mounts to get in, so ground mounts are kind of easy to get over there, but if you go all the way down here and then come through to the tip of that, then obviously that's a problem. And then you could also build like a C-shaped base or something, like, you know, the actual letter C right around here for another underwater pen. It's great. I think the island probably has one of the best, or some of the best areas to build bases and also have access to a water pen. So that's probably the best thing about the island. It is still aesthetically pleasing, but it's not as cool as the other two are, and especially Ragnarok. That's, in my opinion, probably the best so far, and it's only halfway done, which is the crazy part. Coming more along the beach, and here there is another little kind of grassland plateau type thing. I'm not sure exactly how you want to word that, but that's not too bad either. It's definitely got its two major ground mount entrances, but it's not bad again for PvE and PvE and single player. Got a nice waterfall right here with a little river going right off into another waterfall into the main ocean, so it's kind of like a double waterfall. It's pretty dope if you want to build a base on either side or have the base connect over with a catwalk. That would be really cool. I actually didn't really notice that this was here. Another cool thing is with Ragnarok's waterfalls, you can actually go, or there's actual, damn it, there's kind of like small cave indents behind the waterfalls. that you can build bases in, and I'll show that off when the map comes out and all that good stuff. So this is a pretty good spot. Very resource friendly here, so plenty of rocks, bushes, and trees. And then direct water access. And as for food, I don't really see a whole lot of creatures here, so you may have to travel out to the shore more. Maybe try to get some fish. Probably your best bet. If not, maybe just try to kill some parasaurs. Like I see a couple of parasaurs right here. So it's definitely not a bad spot. Coming over here is probably the biggest, flattest area in the island as beaches go. I mean, this is about as good as you're going to get for a flat beach. Now, there is a tiny little pond here, but it's not really worth using as a water tame or a water pen for bigger creatures. As you can see, Sarco is probably the biggest thing that can be put in there. No point for a Megalodon because it can't go on the ground. So Capros, Sarcos, and honestly, those are probably the only two I would actually recommend to put in there. Alright, moving towards the Blue Obelisk, which we are now in the ice biome, tundra biome. You can definitely build bases on these little small platforms of ice. Just be careful, don't fall in, obviously. But not a bad idea. It's cold, so you have the temperature kind of working on your side, especially if you also have fur gear. So you got that, you got natural weather on your side, and then you also got area. Not a lot of people actually really like to build or scavenge in the ice biomes, so you're also really good if, for PvP purposes. These giant black rocks here are for oil, I do believe. Let me check really quick. I think they're for oil. Yeah, you get a lot of oil and some stone. And obviously if you use the different tools, you get more of a specific type of resource than another. So, ice biome, resource-wise, it is best to farm for oil and organic polymer, because you can just kill a whole bunch of penguins, and they drop organic polymer in their inventory, so that's the best way to go about those two resources. At least on this map. And same thing with the center. You can do that as well, because it's has the same biome and the same way to get it, I do believe. I don't really remember seeing a whole lot of oil rocks like this does, or at least as many, but I'm definitely sure you can still do the same thing. Other than that, there's no real spot I have found in this specific ice biome to actually build a base at. I kind of have no need or no what's the word I'm looking for, like a yeah, I just really don't have no real need to build in ice biomes. I will probably build one or two in Ragnarok, but I haven't seen any other areas in the two ice biomes that we have now. The one on the island here, and then the other one on the center. But as I'm flying over, you guys can see plenty of oil rocks, so you guys are set with oil. So again, Arctic regions best for killing penguins for organic polymer and gathering a crap ton of oil out of these rocks. Some of them may be a little bit harder to see from the air because they do have a little bit of snow on top of them, but from the ground, extremely easy to say or see. It's part of the video where my tongue stops working. Here wouldn't be a bad spot either. You got trees for wood and thatch, and then rocks here for stone and flint, and then the oil rocks for oil and stone. So you're good there. And then underwater pens. And then your direct access with the ocean, so you can have your bigger underwater tames or mounts right here, and then your smaller ones on that side. So that's pretty cool. Just trying to see if there was anything else I was missing here. I'm gonna look on the top of the mountain real quick, and then we'll move on to the last few spots. If I don't get to fit it all in this video, I'll make a part 2 for it. But rest assured, we will cover all the base locations here. I know I definitely could be going a little faster here and there, but there's some things that impeded our movement forward. I thought I was going up the mountain. Instead, I was just going around it. Like a big dummy. Let's get up here. Okay, so the blue obelisk is over there on this one, and on this mountain, on top, pretty much nothing to build off of. There's probably not even enough of a flat area to even start a foundation, or a big enough foundation for. So, ice biome in both maps, I'll get this out of the way first, in both maps are probably the worst biome to build in. Not because of it being cold or anything, or not because of the certain creatures that spawn there, it's just, it's not a great place to build. Not enough flat ground to get a base started. Moving over here, we have one of the newest creatures right there. That is the Utrinosaurus, I do believe. That's what it's called. I have a couple of them. They're pretty cool. They're a tiny bit smaller than a T-Rex, and very furry. And they have two different roar abilities. For PlayStation, it's the left trigger, where the L2 activates a yellow sound wave to allies, to ally tames that you have, and any tribe members or friends riding on their animals. Their animals will get a stamina boost, I do believe, and then the purple one, which is you click in the R3 button, and that is a purple one, and it makes other random creatures around you intimidated and not want to fight you. Alright, so moving on here, we're kind of close between the green obelisk. This would be, let's see, approximately 3868, approximately. This is a pretty interesting spot, I will say. I don't ever remember seeing this spot, so it's actually pretty cool looking. Definitely got your resources. I haven't really touched on metal areas, because I know metal's a very important thing, but metal, I don't see any metal here. So that could be a problem. But again, if you're on single player or on PvE, it shouldn't really be a problem, because then, you know, you just gotta worry about how you're gonna get there and back. It's pretty flat around the river, and yeah, abundance of resources and plenty of creatures here to kill for hide and meat. Making sure I'm also keeping an eye on the timer here for the video. Oh yeah, just climb up here on this mountain. There's plenty of freaking metal here. Plenty of metal deposits. Really, the best metal deposits I found for the island, at least, is on top of mountains. It looks like there's another ruin up here, which is cool. It's definitely worth you guys checking these out for experience. Actually land on it, that'd be great. Most of them are those little crates that you see, but some of them, like this one, is kind of like a vase. There's the scorched earth ones are kind of specific too. There's like a little leather case that replaces the box, and then the other one is like a Anubis tomb vase. It's pretty cool. You know, it's like a scorched earth theme version of these. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I can see definitely plenty of metal up here. I'm not sure exactly what the best mount or creature would be to get up on the side of these mountains. I mean, you could potentially, if you're on a non-dedicated server, you could spawn in rock golems. But yeah, as you guys can see here on the top of mountains, again, crystal, metal. I don't see any obsidian on this mountain, at least yet. This may be the only mountain, or one of the only mountains that doesn't have obsidian on it. You can tell what obsidian looks like if it's a really, really dark, black, smooth stone. That's obsidian. Alright, moving on down here. So moving back towards the green obelisk, more south. More forest. You guys could, again, build anywhere you want, but you know, really iconic areas that stand out is what the ones I am trying to look out for. Not sure what this is all about down here. Looks like small trees with like a flooded forest, it looks like, almost right here. And it comes out to this basin. It's pretty decent. The water's really dark, but it's abundant with resources for the most part. It's a possibility you guys could build here. Up here, though, is a little bit better. It's more flat. Another little plateau you can build on right here. It's pretty cool. Probably closer to a small medium base. And if we look on the map here, if I press the right button, we are at 4972 approximately. So pretty good area right there. Let's see, moving on a little bit east, southeast, east-ish. More like a meadow kind of area here. Not too bad to build that. Coming out here is when we kind of start getting into trouble. Swamp. The swamps are the worst area to go in general. You guys could argue some of the caves could be more dangerous than the swamps, but the swamps are just so dangerous and annoying. They have, as you guys can see, wild roaming caprisucuses that will unmount you. I can see a plethora of leeches that spawned in. If you guys can actually see it, all those little blackish green dots are all leeches. I can actually go down here and show you. Right here. Oh, this is just deep enough water for my Pteranodon to not land on. Great. Let's build this Capros real quick. And of course, I don't have a flamethrower to use to get these to burn off. That's the one thing I gotta tell you guys about leeches. The only way to get rid of them is to burn them off, unfortunately. So let me try. Oh, here's some rocks. Hopefully I don't get any more on me here. Let me go to structures, cooking, and I need a little bit more stone. We we should be good now. Yep. Have crafting speed a bit higher as well, so let's put that right here. And I'll transfer in all the wood. You can use thatch for campfires and stuff, but it'll burn a lot faster. So you obviously want to use fire. And why is this not burning? Or why can I not access the burning thing? That's very weird. Let's see if I can't build another one. Or maybe it's a possibility it's too close to water, mate. That's why it's probably not burning properly. Let's need more stone again. I think I ran out of rocks to hit. Oh, over here there's plenty. Where is my Pteranodon, by the way? As I said, may not have enough time to go over every base here. Because naturally just bad things tend to happen to me because I have a lot of bad luck. As you guys can see, I have multiple leeches on me. Which is also not cool. Alright, let's try to put a campfire over here. Seems to be the best spot. Nice dry land. Get that wood in there, damn it. Light it up. Alright, and just jump in the fire and burn them all off. Now you also gotta be careful of, well, pint and bows, that's one. You gotta be careful of disease leeches. Wow, that actually broke my campfire instantly. Nice. Disease leeches, the regular leeches are more like a black and greenish color. The disease leeches are more of a blackish, brownish, orange color. And I'll actually say disease leech if you can wind up getting close enough to them without getting bitten, that is. I would really love to know where the hell my Pteranodon went. I gotta tame another one. Okay, there he is. Yeah, I unfortunately do not have a flamethrower right now, but when I spawn one in later, it'll probably be in the next episode. I'll make sure I'm a little bit more prepared gear-wise for the next episode. I'll have a flamethrower ready and we can go through the swamps and burn some leeches up. That should be pretty satisfying because I hate leeches with a passion. As you guys can see, there is plenty of them here to kill. Unless it's seaweed. I have a feeling this is all seaweed. Okay, it is seaweed, my bad. I actually thought... Damn it. I actually thought it was, leeches. Oh. And I think there is one more spot I might be able to squeeze in here. It's getting pretty close to the green obelisk here. Let's see. Over here is not a too bad area as well, especially if you go right in this like Y-shaped area. It's pretty cool. I think most people and tribes tend to steer near the middle of the maps. Kind of usually where most of the good stuff is, but it depends. I've only found one alpha T-Rex. I'm surprised I haven't found more. Yeah, right over here in this area, right kind of to the south of the green obelisk. There's a lot of good beach area to build on here. So I think that'll wrap it up for the island. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be Scorched Earth. And we'll be more prepared for that one. So hope you guys enjoyed. and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.